Hi, and welcome. In today's reading, we are going to be exploring an aspect of your shadow. It's parts of you that keep you stuck, and they are usually things that we can't see, hidden things. They might be quiet, but they are quite powerful and they shape us and our experiences. So, I will be taking a look at what an aspect of your shadow might be, what might be blocking you from seeing it, and how it shows up in your life, as well as how you can bring it to the light so that you can heal it or move through it more easily. And I would also like to explore what you might be seeing in your life, what you might start experiencing as confirmation that you are on the right path moving through this journey. So I'm excited to be doing this reading. I do hope that you find something that is helpful to you. Um, yeah. So I have three groups that I will be reading for today. And as always, I invite you to just drop into your body, connect with yourself and with your energy. And, pause this video if you need to take some easy, deep breaths, or whatever your process is completely good. And then whenever you are ready, here are the group selections. So group one has this Four of Roses, and this is views of the ego. I also do have crystals. So this is the crystal for group number one. Group number two has Three of Keys, the chess game. And this is the crystal for group number three. So my lighting is not very good here. There we go. I mean, it's okay, but for the crystal, kind of hard. There we go. Okay. And then group number three has the Knight of Roses. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's the King of Roses. Okay. And the crystal for group number three is this amethyst point. So this is the only crystal that I know the name of. I forgot the other two. I will try to look them up so I can put the names in the description for you. Okay, but these are your choices. Take as much time as you need to choose. If you're feeling drawn to watching more than one group, that is totally fine. Please just use your inner guidance and intuition. And whenever you choose, I'll see you in your group. Hello, group one. If you have chosen this Four of Roses Views of the Ego card, you are in the right group. Or if you chose a crystal or both and you chose this crystal, you are in the right group. So we'll take a look at your cards. Let's jump right in. Okay, so I'm just going to move this for you here. Oh, perfect. It's actually visible. Yes. Okay. So we have growth as your first card, and for this one you did end up getting two cards, and your second card is discovery. Okay, so this is about an aspect of your shadow. I find this really interesting, these uprooted roots, and this almost makes me feel like there's a beak, but I'll take a closer look at this card as we go along. We have impatience. Let me see if I can move this a little bit. Oh, yes, it fits. Okay. And then we have renewal. Very nice. Oh, I love the red, actually. Okay. Expansion. Nice. Okay. We have perception. And then guilt. Again, you got two cards for this one, and then we have passion. So I have to put this, I have to put this card aside. I will bring it out when we talk about it. I just don't have enough space here. So, okay, let's get started. So we have with your growth and discovery. I feel like what's going on here is it's almost like you're rewiring your conditioning, your roots. There's maybe family related stuff. If you came from a place where you felt like you didn't really belong, because these uprooted roots, they really make me feel like they're not in soil, right? If you think about when things grow, they're embedded deeply in the soil, right? And that's what holds it. But it's like there's not really roots here, and we're also seeing this leaf here, and it's not really belonging to any plant. So I feel like this is really just kind of about finding your roots, okay, finding home. I think your home within yourself, and we have discovery, in addition to the growth. Okay, so I didn't even really look at that together, but it's making so much sense right now. With it's like you're discovering who you are and what your purpose is. And again, because this is a shadow aspect, this might not be something that you're seeing entirely. It might not be fully visible to you. So if you're struggling around issues in your life around identity, if that's something that you're seeing, then this is what's going on. If you're not seeing that, um, if it's not so obvious to you, then what I would suggest is, in areas that you're struggling, see if perhaps that has anything to do with it. I also want to mention, like, this really, I don't know why, but I'm seeing this as a bird, as a beak. I see a beak, I see an eye right there. I don't know if you can see that little point, but I'm seeing a bird, and this is the roots, all these roots, they're giving me phoenix vibe. Okay, so this is like transformation and renewal, become like not even renewal, it's transformation and becoming somebody new. And we have emergency room on top. I'm not sure if you can see that right there, emergency room. It's like I'm really feeling like um that. Oh, I'm getting distracted by this now. Okay, train of thought. I'm feeling like this is something that is affecting you quite deeply, and I'm getting so many messages here. Like, it's so hard to keep up. I'm gonna just take a look at this up close because I feel like that's something here, and I almost feel like this is like one of those old school mailboxes that you would see like in front of driveways. Of houses where everybody, it would be just like a mailbox on a pole, if you know what I'm talking about. So it's making me feel almost like there's a letter or some sort of a message or something coming in for you. I don't know what that is about. It just like drew my attention to it, and I'm like, this looks like a letter, and it looks like this thing is flipped. Like there's something inside this mailbox, like there's information waiting for you. So perhaps there's information that is accessible to you right now. And it's just a matter of you just kind of like opening yourself to receiving it. The other thing I want to say is, okay, I honestly didn't see this face on this flower. It's initially when I saw the card. Oh, why won't you focus? Come on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so if you can see that face, and I saw it and I was like, oh, that's so cute, but that flower's actually not really smiling that much. So we'll kind of like maybe we'll see if I can get more information off of this card. But I also want to say that if you know anything about like Hindu deities or like, I don't know, Vedic things, this, I don't know why, but I'm getting like Lord Ganesh vibes off of this angel. So if that is an energy that you are feeling drawn to, perhaps that is something that you could look into. I don't know like a ton, but I do know that Lord Ganesh is about removing obstacles from your path and kind of clears the way. And he is a divine being that is about protection and luck as well, as far as I know. Also, this is, I believe this would be the red, yeah, because we have red and we have orange here. So this is your root chakra. Lord Ganesh is also associated with your root chakra. So that again points very deeply points to this being an issue of roots, of family roots, maybe of um um oh, what's the word, like ancestral stuff. Okay, ancestral healing. And it's interesting because we are looking at the heart here. Okay, this is your heart, and the green is also for your heart chakra. So it is somehow connected with your root and your heart chakra, somehow connected with belonging, feeling safe, and feeling like you belong to this world. But also something about having an open heart center and feeling being able to feel things, I think, fully, like compassion and love, and also having love for the world. And maybe you're in a place where you can't feel those things, and maybe you are numbed because you have been through a lot. If this has been affecting you in some way, if this is coming up and you're finding yourself like it's kind of hard to connect with your emotions, this could be why. Okay, so that's what I got from those two. All right, and then in terms of impatience, moving on, this is about this card is speaking to like what is preventing you from being able to like really see what's going on, your situation. So with impatience, it's clear, it's impatience, right? Maybe you just want things to start just moving for you, and I don't blame you at all, at all. If you're just kind of like you're done, you just want to be happy, or you just want, like, let's say you want love, or you want, financial success or health, whatever whatever area in your life it is, right? This card is speaking about being patient and moving through these your times. I'm seeing this hill here, I'm seeing this ladder, I'm seeing the clouds, and again I'm seeing a divine being here. So this is like you are climbing, okay? So it's like ups and downs, okay? This isn't like a straight pathway, and this again brings me back to Lord Ganesh with obstacles. But this isn't like a straight forward pathway, but we do have green, we do have this flower here, and we do have greenery, there is growth here. Your soil is fertile, we have brown soil, fertile soil. This isn't, nothing is dead here, nothing is stagnant here. This is for your growth, and we see that you are being divinely supported and guided, in fact. So this is really beautiful. You are not left alone. If you feel like you've been left alone, you are not left alone. I see this block right here, something is blocking it. I see the moon here, and I see this block, and I almost feel like you feel disconnected and you're feeling like you are being blocked from something. So again, if you are like not feeling like you have a shadow side, but there's an area in your life or areas in your life where you're feeling like, why won't anything budge, why won't anything move, it could have something to do with your whole you know foundation of who you are, what your roots are, where you belong. So the blockage that you might be seeing in your life is not because life doesn't want to support you or because things don't want to work out with you. It is a deeper issue, if that makes sense, right? So it's about patience, and to patience, I want to say it's also about work, right? So things are evolving, they're unfolding for you, but it's also like you have to move through it, right? You have to be, you also have to do kind of like the work around it. And I think that's something that we usually do in one way or another because like life kind of forces us into it. But if you are somebody who does participate in growth and self growth and things like this, I feel like really focusing on this, and I don't mean like 100%, don't drive yourself crazy or anything, but like focusing into it and being an active participant of that, I think would really go a long way in doing this. With renewal, this is about how it's kind of like your shadow self, how it's kind of blocking you from moving forward. Okay, I just want to take a little bit of a closer look at this card. This is making me think of like Kundalini, kind of like the coiled snake. We see like she's, look at her pose, like she's in meditation, and her hands. Again, this is about the root chakra. Interestingly enough, I can't even speak. Okay, all these things I'm noticing here. Okay, we have the sun here, we have all these rays. It's like I feel like this person is awakened, is fully awakened and aligned, fully awakened and aligned, and maybe in divine union even. With the red, this is being the root. Okay, so I'm not, if you don't know, like with the 7 chakras, the root is our first chakra. So the root is the first chakra. As we continue upwards, we have the 7th, we have the crown chakra. This is like the ultimate where we get enlightened, and it's a process, it's a journey through your energetic body. So it's interesting because it is so connected, the crown connected with the root, and it's like this person is whole. Okay, so what I just went on this whole thing. What this card is representing, though, is that it's like the renewal that this card is standing for renewal. And one more thing I wanted to say to this is there is so much growth and abundance here. So what this is telling me is that your soil, like I said, your soil is fertile, and there is so much opportunity for you here. Okay, but again, if you are feeling stuck and if you are feeling like you are not moving, and you feeling that you're being, blocked from your transformation, or even just moving on, right? Like if it's something that, like again, within the world, like your job or money or health or relationships or whatever it is, creative projects that you're trying to start or something like this, like we're really seeing that there is definitely the potential for that to happen here for you. Okay, but what we're seeing is that we're not seeing the balance of that. We're not seeing your energies balanced out in order for you to see that renewal. We're seeing that you are stuck where you are, and that's kind of like how it's showing up in your life, is that you're not seeing a balance of things. Now I want to point your attention to the left side of the card and the right side of the card. So on this side, it's almost like we have fall and winter, right? This is like spring and summer. So this is making me think of balance. This is making me think of balancing out your energies. This is making me think pointing me in the direction of like spiritual work and spiritual practices can really be beneficial to you in order to be able to kind of bring this in to your forefront and allow you to balance things out. And now I just have to take a moment to think, because this card, as I'm talking about it, it's like it's not really supporting the position that it is sitting in, and I just kind of want to go with it. But I do need to take a moment just to think about this, because I want to see if there is anything about this card that is actually speaking to the position that it is sitting in. So I'm just going to do that for. All right. So the one thing that I just want to say is it could also be your desire for balance and your desire maybe for spiritual growth. Um, so that could be it. Now I'm thinking a little bit deeper now, because I'm like, that was it. And now I'm like, I feel like there is something more to this, honestly, like desire for deeper growth. It's like, okay, so like, unconsciously or subconsciously that spirituality will lead you to be able to heal this, um, the root, the problem of your root, which is the problem within your root chakra. And it has to deal with your belonging, like how you feel you belong, okay? Or that you don't feel like you belong, like you might feel like you don't. So that's what we're seeing with renewal. Now with expansion, we have expansion, and we also have perception and guilt. This card makes me think perfection, but we'll see. So with expansion, this is just kind of talking about how you can bring your situation, your shadow into the light. And honestly, I'm just seeing, I want to come back to this card, to be honest. But I'm seeing growth. I'm seeing, I need to come back to this. I feel like this isn't the time to talk about it, so we'll come back to it. And it's going to connect with your final card, which is passion. And that card is about what you can expect as you're going through this. But okay, we have perception and we have guilt. So perception, when I saw it, I thought this card is speaking about perfection, and that is kind of actually like in line with guilt almost. Um, so okay. I feel like letting go and releasing past hurts, especially when they are around guilt. And look at this. I feel like this is family related. Okay, maybe family trauma. Um, there's so many ways we can look at this. There's maybe emotional neglect even here. Okay. This is for our second chakra. Swadhisthana. Oh my God. Second chakra. Okay. This is the second center. So when I'm picking up off of this card, she's chained. She's not where she wants to be. This is not the life she wants for herself, okay? Um, and there's two scenarios here. I'm seeing a family unit where somebody is doing their best and somebody else is really miserable, and because it is not the best, it is a horrible situation for them. So again, if you grew up in a home that was toxic, that you didn't feel supported in, that you feel like you don't have roots, or maybe you never had roots, or you don't know what your roots are, right? That could be one element of this. I'm seeing like a city in the back, so there's so many people, but it's like feeling so alone. The other scenario is like, here you are, you're functioning, you're chained to your situation, you're chained to your life, you're doing your best. We have a halo above her head. It's like you're doing your best, you're doing all that you can do, and it's really not good enough. And inside, there's dying inside. It's like this person can't take that, like it's like there's so much pain and sadness. And okay, so with perception and perfection, part of this is how we look at things. Okay, so if your situation really sucks, or if there's a lot of pain in your past, right? um I don't want this to sound like you erase that, because literally the point of this is to be able to heal from it. So we don't want to just disregard it and be like, oh, it's just depending on how you look at it. um Maybe it wasn't so bad, and that is literally not. That's like gaslighting yourself. But perception can do a lot in terms of healing. So I've heard before, like, you can rewrite your history. So, part of the way that you can kind of bring this up and start healing or moving through this, because it's knocking at your door and it wants your attention, right? And it's really up to you whether you want to tackle this or not. But if you do, part of the way that you can do that is to start really getting into what you're feeling. And please do this in a safe way. If it's too much emotionally or mentally, then, like, this is a tarot reading to help. But, like, if it's too much, then, like, please don't do it. Or please, like, do seek, like, support, like, from a counselor or a psychologist or something like that, if you feel like the need arises. But the point is, to heal from it, you need to look at it and you need to acknowledge it and you need to honor yourself. Okay, honor yourself. There's a lot of with perception. The technique that I have come across is you can rewrite your history. So you write your story, but you write it from a different lens. So if you want, you can write it and be like, this is, what happened. This is my story. This is what I went through. This is how I was treated. This is how I felt. Um, and just put your heart into it and then rewrite it and look at it from a more positive lens. So, for instance, if let's say you grew up in a home with a single parent who was working all the time, and they never gave you any time, any attention, they missed big events, and maybe they were so stressed out, there was no love, they always yelled or something. What good came out of it? And what I mean by that is maybe you developed emotional intelligence, or maybe you developed like inner strength or self-soothing or self-sufficiency or something. Maybe you made a really good friend at school that you were able to connect with because you needed connection or something. So perception in that way can start changing things. And again, this is not to do it in a way that will gaslight you. This is not to do it in a way that will excuse it or make anything from the past okay. But it just kind of brings into balance, brings things a little bit into balance for ultimately for your own healing, for your own renewal, for your own growth, so that you can heal from this, so that you can actually grow roots, okay? So that your roots can get planted into the ground and be as strong as these trees are, and you can be as strong as these trees. So that's really what that's about. In terms of perfection, I wanted to also just add, it is about perfection. It is about don't be so hard on yourself, okay? It's also about self-hatred. If there's any self-hatred, it is time to forgive yourself. Like if you were in a situation, whether you were growing up or not, if there was any toxicity around you where you felt like you were uprooted or whatever happened, please forgive yourself. um we're only human, really, and you are so deserving of like feeling like you belong, feeling like you have a home. And in fact, like your heart is your home, okay? It's about also about heart healing, okay? So it's about belonging. It's about belonging physically and emotionally as well. So that's what I'm picking up from these two cards. And then I want to go into the expansion and passion. Okay, so right. So basically, I kind of like talked about this already, but expansion basically kind of deals with like what's your best way of kind of dealing with this. And a very surface level I'm picking up is just basically just expanding your social circle if you can, okay? Or finding your kind of people if you can, finding some sort of support somewhere where you can. I know that is not possible for everybody, but this could also include things like church groups, meditation groups, or finding something that you enjoy doing. Like let's say you enjoy swimming or something, just get out there and do something that you enjoy. So it could involve other people, maybe volunteering at a shelter, animal shelter or something, so it could involve animals, right? But it's also about expanding, I think, your personal power. It's expanding your um um passion, your personal, what you're into, what you feel really drawn to, okay? It's expanding those things. I noticed this earth here, I like, this is giving me empress vibes. Earth nurturing growth. So something wants to give birth, and we see this fire, we see this like manipura fire. This is your solar plexus, okay, your third chakra. Look at the energy here. We have the earth and we have the solar plexus. Solar plexus is about personal power. It is about confidence, and being able to create things in the world, okay? And yeah, so oh, I forgot. Wow, I forgot about this card completely and entirely. The Four of Roses and Views of the Ego. Yeah, okay, if somebody made you feel small in your past, like maybe you do feel like you don't have personal power, you don't have legs to stand on, you don't have a foundation that you can stand from firmly in, okay? This is toxicity, this views of the ego. And now I'm thinking like maybe there is an issue with ego for you, but it is a negative ego, okay? So it's not like an inflated, full of themselves ego. It is more of like a lack of self-belief, a lack of self-worth, and a lack of understanding. I guess we'll go with that. So it might not be something that you're even seeing outright, right? It could be like you might feel like you're confident and you feel like you deserve things, but under the surface of things, there might be an issue with those things. And really only you would be the only one who would know. This would be revealed to you with like, I think, things like maybe journaling or meditation, or just really examining your life, right? So if it doesn't apply, it doesn't apply, and that's okay. But I'm really feeling like this is really about you were meant, you were made to feel small, and it created issues with a healthy ego development. Like, ego is not all bad. Like, we cannot live as humans without having an ego, but it depends on the type of ego that is formed, right? So we do have healthy egos. There are people that we have healthy parts to our egos, and then we do have the unhealthy parts as well. So I really feel like this is on the flip side of what people usually think of ego, is like the inflated. This is the other side of that inflation. Okay. So it's really about expansion. It's really about expansion, doing, and this is why I wanted to bring this card into it. Okay, doing what makes you feel passionate. Okay, that makes you feel good, that makes you want to get out of bed and be like, yes, I want to do today. Or just not even that, it doesn't have to be that big. It can just be something small that brings you joy in the moment. Okay. um it's going to stir up your solar plexus fire. You're going to feel it in your belly, and just doing more of that, really just doing more of that. And again, as this is your last card, this is the card that is speaking to, like, how do you know, like, your confirmation that you are on the right path of healing this aspect of yourself. And it is when you are doing things that are feeling really good, that you are starting to feel passionate about. If you feel like if you've been really down, where you're not really feeling much, this is going to be small sparks of inspiration, small sparks of just feeling like a little bit alive, or a little bit happy, or having a little bit of joy, and just small feelings of enjoyment, and just lightness. Maybe the heaviness will go away. Maybe you'll lose track of time while you're doing that thing. But that's what it's about. This is what it's about. It is about expanding into the positive, and this is how you're going to form your new roots, because this is about self-identity, right? So you're going to start creating a more healthy identity of yourself. Screw the past, whoever's hurt you. Like, I'm sorry about whatever pain you've been through, and however that has shaped you. But in this moment, you have an opportunity to grow out of that. And it's making me think of a phrase of, like, bloom where you've been planted. Lotuses, what do they grow in, right? I think they grow in, like, maybe they can grow in mud or something. I'm not really sure, actually. I hope I'm not, like, saying inaccurate things here, but they bloom into the most beautiful flowers, right? And that's what it's about. So um yeah. Wow, that was a lot. So basically, that is your reading, group one. You are like a beautiful lotus. That's what I want to leave you with here. That you are like a beautiful lotus, and you have, like, a really beautiful kind of, like, journey ahead of you. Because I really love how this ends with, like, that whole solar plexus fire and passion. That is beautiful, and that is amazing. And once you're in that energy, and the more you become, you start being in that energy. I'm sorry about that glare. The more happiness you will have, the more joy you will have. You will start to feel purposeful, if that's something that maybe you are struggling with. Or if you're not, you will probably feel like a greater sense of purpose and happiness and joy. And the most amazing thing is that you will start forming, like, really strong, beautiful, healthy roots in your life for yourself as you are. So, group one, that is your reading. That was a beautiful reading. Thank you so much for being here, if you're still here. If you've enjoyed this reading, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, and feel free to drop a comment if you would like to share your journey at all, or just be like, hey, I chose group one, or whatever. Like, anything you do, any sort of that kind of, like, action really helps me grow the channel. So it helps with the YouTube algorithm. So, like, if you've done any of that, thank you so very much. And again, I hope this was helpful, and I hope to read for you again. Take care. Hello, group two. If you have chosen this card, the Three of Keys, the chess game, you are in the correct group. Likewise, if you have chosen this crystal, you are in the correct group. Okay, so let's take a look at your cards. I'm probably going to get confused because you have more than one card for some of your positions. So, okay, so we have your first card is Facade. I just want to quickly look at them, and then we'll jump in. Second card is Service. Oh, interesting. Okay, third card we have Workaholic. Okie dokie. Next we have, it's just one card. Okay, we have Miracle. And then we have three cards for your next position. So which one? Okay, it was like this. Okay, so this card was your one, and then I decided just to take the rest of them. So Faith. I love it. It's so beautiful. Okay. Enlightenment and Abundance. Wow, that's awesome. Okay. Okay, and then your last cards are Growth and Perception. Interesting. These two cards actually came out in the group one. And that was, they were not together like this either. They were separated. They had different positions. I'm not saying this for you to go and group, like watch group one or anything. I'm not trying to self advertise or anything, but I just thought that was an interesting thing. And also, like, if you do feel like you wanted to maybe watch group one, then please feel free to do so. But that is not why I was mentioning that. Okay. All right. So those are the cards. I'm going to just see what I can do about this glare. I think maybe I'll just put that aside for now and keep that one there because so much glare. Okay. All right. So facade. Let's jump right in. We have facade and we have the chess game. So these cards are actually quite playing off of each other actually. So the chess game, there's a disconnection here. There's like, oh, deceit, like people going at each other, okay, from different perspectives, and it's not pretty. The advice of this card is to walk away, basically, okay? With facade, we see like something that like a loving togetherness, almost makes me feel like a child and grandpa, but there's something not right here, okay? Are they walking on clouds? Is this clouds? We see a tree, but we see clouds. It's almost like something, there's an illusion and we're not seeing something, okay? So it's interesting because this is the card that's representing an aspect of your shadow, something that you need to know about your shadow side, okay? And that is a little bit tricky right now, and my brain's a little bit like, but it will come to me. It's a little bit just harder to access. Um, I'm also seeing the way that this is done, I can see through him. I can see the clouds, the outline of the clouds, or at least that's how I'm seeing it. And I'm not seeing it really with this boy. So now I'm starting to feel like this could have something to do with beliefs, but also I'm almost feeling like past life vibes, okay? There's some sort of a connection to a past life or a belief about a past life, or some sort of tradition or belief that is passed on to you through your family lineage, or like your social, I don't know, like your group's, I guess, lineage, somehow your cultural lineage maybe. I do want to revisit this, but it's something to do with like it's not serving you, okay? Somehow it has harmed you in some way, like your life in some way. And I hope to get more clarity on that as we go along. But for now, I will kind of leave that mystery there, and hopefully we can get a little bit more information. Okay, moving on to service. Oh, interesting. So, like, again, we have somebody that's elderly and we have family units. Um, service to others. Service to others is moving beyond yourself. I feel like you're too close to it to be able to see what's actually going on. So, like, when things are going on, like, we can be so great at giving advice to other people, but if we're in that same situation, a lot of times we won't be able to take our own advice because we're just way too close to seeing it. And I feel like this is a very similar situation here. So, it's almost like if you can take yourself out of the picture, then you are going to be able to gain some clarity. This could, of course, also literally mean be of service to others. So, through, doing things for other people, like in terms of volunteering, and this really makes me feel like working with the elderly, the places where people go when it's like end of life care. It's like it's really, it's just taking care of people at their most vulnerable, okay? So you don't have to go run off and like and volunteer or anything like that, but this is about selfless service. That's it. Okay, it's about selfless service and just really giving yourself. And this is when you kind of do that, you step away from the core of your own issues and you're able to focus on somebody else's energy, and this then begins to open you up and open your own energy to seeing what's actually going on. I think part of that, it's like if we can't see what's going on, we cannot release what is holding us back, right? So if your shadow is holding you, like causing issues in your life, and you can't see it to release it, then that becomes an issue, right? But when you can start to kind of like, as you're kind of like stepping out from that, then it has space to kind of expand. And then you can kind of see it, even just from feeling good. If you do good things, good deeds, selfless service, and it doesn't have to be anything huge, of course. It could even just be like opening doors for a stranger, saying hello, smiling at somebody, right? It doesn't have to be, you don't have to go and give like 15 hours of volunteer work a week or anything like that. Um, but just somehow helping other people or animals, I think kind of like focusing your self a little bit on that can really help you quite a bit here. Okay, so that's really important. But yeah, and especially where we have workaholic. Okay, here this is kind of what happens. Your shadow is creating issues around like I'm hearing chaos. I'm hearing chaos. I'm hearing like busyness. I'm hearing, honestly, slow down and relax, okay? This is what I'm hearing. Maybe you're chasing something that's been implanted in you. Like you need to go and do that thing. You need to be and be that kind of a person. Maybe like your family's like, we come from a family of doctors. You need to go be a doctor. You need to go hustle. You need to do this because if you don't do this, there's like no, you don't belong or whatever, right? Something, okay, something's been ingrained in you, and it's like your worth and your sense, your identity, your sense of self is around that, and it's a deep-seated issue. It's like a belief, and I go back to the idea of belief, and this is your solar plexus chakra, your third chakra, that deals with personal power and personal choices, and being able to move into that, into the direction um, of your choice, right? But if it's been ingrained in you that um you need to be a certain person or whatever, then like what we have is we have an authentic hustle and struggle to be somebody that you're not. So it's really, I think, when you can come out of this mindset, the way that you can do it, the way that you can come out of that mindset is again to be of service to, and selfless service, really what it is. It's almost like, I feel like it's like a softening of the heart. Also, I need to plug my camera in, so I will just be right back. Both of these cards are about your heart opening. Yes. And as yes, and serve it, like, yes, it's like when we are able to connect with people and we start doing things for others, it's when our heart starts to open. Oh, it's beautiful. And like again, so like we're seeing that this is about your solar plexus, this is about personal power, okay? Personal power for you. This is a big thing. And then we have the heart. So you're going from personal power, from your third to your fourth chakra. These are the major ones that are involved here. Like we have more, of course, but this is what I'm really picking up on. Okay, so you have these energies that you're working with, and it's like once you can kind of like, it's almost like your blockages in your solar plexus, but once you start working through that, and that's going to be through focusing like on other people and other people's well-being. Please don't ignore your own, okay? This is not, I am not saying for you to just disregard yourself at all. I'm just saying just a little bit of your time or energy and focus towards other people, like within the physical world, okay? Or even pets or animals or something, this will lead you to be able to connect more deeply with your own heart and start to open up your heart and start to feel connected with your heart. This glare is really bothering me though. Let me see if I can, that didn't help. Sorry about that. That's really like, it's really bothering me. Maybe I'll put this card just like right there. Okay. So yeah, so that's kind of like the energy that I'm picking up on here. And your next card, Miracle, again, this is speaking to your third center, your solar plexus center. And I'm going to come back to this one because I feel like I need to look at these right now. We have faith, and look, we have more. We have two more solar plexus cards. Okay. So, and I want to take a look at this beautiful card. This card is gorgeous. It's I'm just like, this is very powerful. There's definitely something here. Okay. Um, there's blessings here for you. Okay. So there's goodness here for you. One of the things is that um as you what it is it's community, okay? It's community. As you kind of like expand into your community or who you are, like what you feel your community is, okay, whatever that is, whether it's even just being helpful to nature, for example, you become more and more blessed, okay? So that's kind of like almost like a side message. But we have abundance, we have enlightenment, and we have faith, okay? These cards are talking about how you can best approach this situation, and it kind of ties into the service, right? So it's like, for you, honestly, I feel like it's about focusing. It's literally, it's perception, okay? It's like focusing on other things than your own problems and your own issues. Like, don't disregard them, but also move away from them because you're too stuck in them. You're too in the middle of it. It's just like it's overwhelming and you can't see anything. But kind of like going out into the world, maybe even just going on, like, social media or something, and seeing what good people are doing. Not to don't doom scroll, not to look at like, oh my god, that person's having such a wonderful life and I feel like I'm missing out on everything and why isn't my life perfect and stuff. No, we don't want that, right? What this is about is really enlightenment. It's really about bringing yourself to a better place. You want to go away from this. Like, I feel like this is our energy here, okay? This is what we're talking about, okay? And there's so many there's so many oh, look at this. There's so many like examples of this. It's like you can't see. Um I feel like he's just really like, "Oh my god, I can't handle life because I don't have what I need." And she's like, I almost feel like she's using what do you call this? When you use a thing to like for yes or no, like divination, but also like this literally yeah, so like inner wisdom, inner voice, or like she's using like one of those metal detectors or something to look for her treasures, okay? But like you can't do that when you're too stuck in your own kind of like mindset, in your own brain, in your own problem. We can't solve a problem with the mindset that created it, right? There's a quote. And this enlightenment, it's again falseness, okay, falsehood. It's like I feel like we see this child. I feel like this is the truth and this is the falseness. So it's like whatever your life, maybe this is about religion, for example, right? Like if you've been brought up within a certain religion that you feel doesn't serve you, that you feel really misaligned with, it's about expansion, okay? So it's like you want to expand. If we look at the difference between these two cards, we have clouds. This is desolate. Here we have clouds too, but we have a blue sky. We have the sun shining. This is a completely different energy. And I believe we also have clouds here, perhaps, or maybe not. I'm not really sure what that is. Maybe marshmallows. I don't know, but they look fluffy, like kind of like that. So I'm not entirely sure. But I mean, the point is, like, I feel like this is such a big contrast. And it's like these two realities and truths are available to you. There is a truth inside of you that is available to you. But in order for you to be able to see it, you need to come out of that energy. And so really, honestly, it's about first of all, having faith, because we have the faith card. So having faith, I feel like, what is this? I feel like this is, I feel like there's the four elements. I don't know why. The four elements in this card, like we have water, fire, earth, and air. Water, earth, and then we have earth again. But I really feel like this is a balancing of some sort. I also feel like there's you, like you're human. We have a support from the earth, from Mother Earth. We have support from angels, and we have support maybe like from spirit guides or even higher divine beings here, okay? And it's like calling on them for your strength, for your strength, for your truth. You're supported here and you're guided, and they are with you. And I know that can mean, it's nice to hear, but unless it's something tangible, I understand that it can feel like it's just words, right? But like I said, it's like having faith. That's the thing. It's like you need to have faith. So it's about perspective, right? We have perspective, and actually that really ties into how you would know that you're kind of on the right track, is because you are going to start seeing growth. Or maybe you will start growing in a certain direction, like a positive direction that you want to be in, and your perception will more naturally change. You will start to see more synchronicities. You will start to see things a little bit more positively. Things are going to feel a little bit more alive. There's going to be life in what you're seeing and what you're observing and what you're feeling, okay? So that's what I'm really picking up. Like your life is going to become brighter. Your perception is going to become brighter. But like it is something that you are advised to also work on, is your mindset. And I want to circle back now to the miracle card here. So we kind of basically touched on this card with the service card. But let me see with the miracle card. Mm, right. Okay. Yeah. Time for you to slow down and take a break, take time out more than one time. I feel like multiple times, and look inside you. Feel inside you. Ask yourself, what are you passionate about? What do you care about? What stirs your fire? What stirs like positive, good feelings in your belly? Something. It doesn't have to be big, it could be huge, but something. And when you do that, this is when you will start to see the illusion come up for you, okay? I just saw 5555, by the way. But when you start to focus on your truth, because ultimately this is it, okay? It is your truth. What makes you happy? What makes you feel at peace? What makes you feel alive? Any of those things, something that you feel in your belly. Maybe it's even a subtle pull or something towards something, okay? This is what, when you do those things, you will start to see the facade, the illusion that is hindering your life, that is hindering your progress. Because currently, and I feel like you probably know this, maybe you feel like you don't know what to do with your life, you don't know what to do with yourself. You might be feeling kind of stuck and just not really knowing like how to proceed forward. But this is your answer right here. That's how you do it. Look for your fire, your happiness, your joy, something good, and serve others. Okay, this is your message. And I need to add this. This is so important, actually. You are a person as well. You are part of the others. So when you are serving others, you are serving yourself. And in addition to that, like with the workaholic, I feel like you haven't really been um, I feel like you haven't really connected with yourself either. So it's also about you doing something good for yourself, you treating yourself as well, okay? So it's not just about reaching out to others, but you are also human, you are also a person, you are just as deserving as anybody else in this world is. And so part of this message is service to people as well as yourself. And just find balance, okay? Find balance doing that. I think that is probably about it for you, group two. But I want to just take a final look at this card to see if I can maybe pull anything else out because it caught my attention so much that I just want to see if there's anything more. All right, I think mainly what this is that it's just here to say to have faith. Like I said, have faith. You have support. And Oh, what was the last thing I wanted to say? There was something that was important here and it just flew out of my mind. Oh, I'm seeing almost an owl here. There's wisdom here. Nice. Okay, we have wisdom. Um, with this, with I want to mention this with the enlightenment card also. This could also have something again because I did mention religion. Spiritual practices could really benefit you here as well, and this is about how you can kind of like best approach this. So spiritual practices can also be helpful. Okay, it doesn't have to be anything extreme, doesn't have to be anything elaborate, but just something that connects you to your soul. If you believe in a higher being, that would be great, but I think that could go a really long way as well. And oh, sorry about that. My kitty is awake and she wants to come into this workspace here. So the faith card, receive your blessings. It's about recognizing the harmony, the balance. Like the little bits of abundance or prosperity or happiness or joy or anything that's positive. Really, is just recognizing those things that they are there, that they are present. And that will kind of also this kind of plays hand in hand with workaholic because you can recognize when you can kind of like if you're in a certain mindset, and this doesn't have to be like just about work, right? But this it's like the single mindset. You're like on a one-way track or something, very focused, can't really see a broader picture, can't really see from the periphery. Okay, we're only seeing what we're seeing here. With this, being able to recognize the good. Right. So my video camera just literally stopped recording and that there was another interruption. So is that a sign for you guys? Get interrupted, let interruptions happen maybe. It's time to shake your energy up, okay? There's stagnation, it's time to shake it up. And this is where I was going with this or trying to go with this. With this card, receiving blessings, receiving good things. When you are able to notice those things, it's going to take you out of this single track mindset where you are going to be able to start seeing things from a more broad perspective. Your vision will open up, your mindset will open up, and then you are going to be able to see what this facade is about. You're going to be able to see the mistruth that your part of your foundation is built on. Okay, that will come to light for you, and you will be able to see it, and you will be able to work through it. Okay, so everything else here, they're just tools for you, like the service, finding passion, seeing the good, seeing positive things. Those are tools for you to ultimately to go and to be able to see what is not serving you, how your shadow, what your shadow is, how it's affecting you, and not, oh, she's like literally here. And I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself, but essentially, um, when you are able to do the things, you will be able to see what is going on, and it's just going to be able to, it's going to free you. Essentially, you will be on the path of to your freedom. Best of luck on your journey. Good luck and take care. Hey, group 3. Welcome to your group if you chose this card, the King of Roses, and if you chose this crystal, you are in the right group here. Let us take a look at your cards. We have balance, mysticism, beautiful, discovery, expansion, very nice, insecurity. Interesting. Okay. Wow. So there's a connection here between your heart and your root. And it's interesting because both of these root cards, they have hearts depicted on them. Okay. I wonder what that's about. But anyways, we have joy. This is the you have 3 cards for this position here. Acceptance, another root chakra card, and then we have impasse. Okay, interesting cards. Can't wait to get into this and see what comes up. So, okay. Balance and mysticism. Okay, so balance. I was very drawn to the faces, the facial expressions on this card. It's like somebody doesn't want to be balanced. There's a sense of protectiveness going on as well. We see that they're kind of like protecting their heart spaces. And there's something that it's like I'm feeling like there's something they don't want to cope with. Did I mention this is about your third eye? I can't even remember that. I'm like, this is the third group at this point, and it's kind of hard to keep track, but yeah, this is third eye energy, and we have a lot of third eye energy and a lot of root and heart. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of say that we see like the scales are not really balanced either. There's some sort of imbalance. So this card is speaking directly to something that you need to know about your shadow. And we'll kind of see because with the Discover card, this is kind of like how it is showing up in your life, like what kind of challenges you're facing in your life. And I feel like there's a lot of indecision here. There's a lot of like, I don't know what to do. I don't know, like feeling lost almost. Being disconnected from your heart, I think, is what it is. I've seen this card before, and this card was in the first group, and I got completely different vibes off of it. But right now, what I'm seeing here is a sense of like insecurity, and a sense of like just not knowing what to do, like actually looking to like higher beings, or like yeah, like I feel like you're turning to maybe spirituality, maybe like tarot readings and things, because you're feeling kind of lost, and you're feeling like you're not able to stand on your own 2 feet almost, or like maybe you do feel like you can stand on your own 2 feet, but like your ground isn't, the ground that's below you isn't fully like supportive to you. This is what I'm feeling, and it's like there's a disconnection from the heart. I'm feeling quite sad looking at this card actually, and it's completely different vibes from group 1, like I said. On the positive side, when I was looking at this flower in group 1, I saw a face that wasn't really happy, but in this version, in your reading, I feel like there's a smile forming, and so I feel like really good about this actually. But basically, yeah, so like the way that your shadow is showing up in your life is in a way that it is causing you to feel disconnected from your heart, and it's causing you to feel really like indecisive and insecure, and maybe even feeling unsupported. And it's like what I'm feeling here, we don't really have a lot of solar plexus cards. We have 1 solar plexus card, and that is a card of personal power and personal strength. Okay, confidence, self-worth. We have 1 card here. and at least it is a card of joy. But what I'm seeing here is like could also kind of like point to a little bit of like solar plexus, where you feel like you're lacking personal power. With the King of Roses, this card makes me feel like something is really available to you. There's a whole garden of abundance and prosperity that is available to you. This is like an inner home. I feel like this is your home, but I also feel like there might be some illusion or something. Maybe you need to move past illusion. Maybe like what you expect things to be is not what you're seeing them to be. I feel like maybe if that's not resonating, then it's a message specifically for somebody. But I almost feel like grass is greener on the other side. That quote applies here. Like the grass is not. It looks greener on the other side, but it's not always greener on the other side. But also, on the flip side of that, I'm seeing this chair right here, and I'm seeing like this is your throne. Like it's sitting empty, waiting for you. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. So I'm kind of getting conflicted vibes from this card. I feel like honestly, what it is, it's like this. It's like a sanctuary. It's like not even a sanctuary, because the sanctuary is somewhere that you go to get away, but this is like the life that's waiting for you. Your life is waiting as um um what a sanctuary would be, but it's like the norm for you. Okay, so that's the energy that's like waiting for you, but it's like you need to get past some sort of illusion here. And speaking of illusion, interestingly enough, also we have with your, like, look at that, with your group, Amethyst. I can't remember exactly what Amethyst is about, but if you're into crystals and stuff, maybe this would be a crystal for you to work with. Again, when I purple makes me think of, like, for some reason the color of these cards makes me think of the crown, but this is for the third eye. Amethyst is something about psychicness, though. Seeing third eye, I think, as well as like sleep, but also intuition. Intuition. Maybe you're not seeing something. Remember the illusion? Like I just was talking about, kind of like not seeing something being an illusion. Third eye, maybe third eye. Okay, there's an imbalance in your third eye. Um, there's too much of, like, I think there's too much of seeing things, not listening to your inner voice, inner wisdom, and intuition. Right? I feel like there's an imbalance there. There's something like your voice is speaking to you, but you're not really listening, or you're not hearing it, or you're not picking up or something on it. It's like your focus is somewhere else. Yeah, let me see. Okay. And why are you not seeing it? Because again, I feel like you're moving away. Oh, okay. Wow. Right. Okay, I'm seeing this. Okay, there is an imbalance, and I think the imbalance is in excuse me, you giving away your the information that's coming in for you is coming from outside sources. Here is you, like you're walking, like let's say this is you, okay? You're moving towards this card. You see how this card is facing these guys here? You're moving into this direction. You are here, you are seeking advice, you are seeking guidance from outside sources. So like again, maybe you're doing a lot of tarot readings or something. And that is creating an imbalance of your life. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't be looking for sources from outside of yourself for guidance, because they can be really helpful, and and I'm not even saying like tarot readings, but anything really. Talking to a friend even, or somebody that you might know, and just hearing their ideas or whatever, like sometimes that can be very destructive, but sometimes that can be really helpful, right? So seeking help, advice, information, guidance from outside sources is great, but I feel like there's a really great imbalance here, and you need to come back to your own voice, your own inner hearing, seeing, and knowing. There's too much relying on outside sources. This is what's blocking you. It's created an imbalance, and this is what's blocking you. And that seems to be coming from a third eye issue, but it's creating issues, like you have been disconnected from your heart. You can't hear your heart. And now I'm just hearing like your third eye speaks through your heart. So I think the impressions, I feel like you're somebody who feels a lot, and you're intuitive, and like maybe an empath actually. And you're feeling, that's your language, okay? Is through feelings, through your heart. This is how you get impressions, or at least one way that you understand the world and what's going on around your world and within your world is through your heart. But we see a blockage here. There's an issue here with your heart. Something's pulling at you. And what is this card? It's about how do you approach this in the best way possible, okay? How do you approach this in the best way possible? Right? we see the devil, right? It's like pulling you. It's like trying to like be like, hey, come over here. Okay. Expansion. Expansion is how you kind of like move past it, okay? How you can kind of like move move your shadow into the light so that you can see it and work with it is awareness. I think that's all it is. I think it's awareness. And remember when I mentioned your solar plexus? Here we go. Here we go. We have solar plexus energy. We see yellow here, and this is also a confirmation for me. Okay, it's like your inner sun. It's your inner fire. This is your inner power. This is your personal power. This is how you break away from this devil. Okay, you're holding your heart shut because you're trying to protect yourself from the energy. Because okay, I feel like I kind of went like an I feel like this might be kind of getting confusing, but what this is like talking about is that your energy is being drained because you are like in a place where you can't hear your own voice, and it's like if you can't make your own decisions and you are relying on outside sources for information like 100%, it disconnects you from your truth. Okay, this is the key point here. It disconnects you from your own heart, from your soul, from your soul, from your inner guidance, right? If you think about it, it's like if your soul speaks to you but you don't listen, you don't hear it, because yeah, you know what, it's like this. It's like if you are having a conversation with somebody in a place where there is really loud music, like a concert going on, you're not going to be able to hear that person, right? Unless they like scream into your ear. um but still it's really hard. Or if you're at a party and it's like really loud, it's really hard to hear somebody, right? This is basically kind of like that, where you're hearing information from outside sources. They're drowning out your own soul, your own inner wisdom, okay, your own inner knowing, and it's creating confusion, and it's creating numbness. If you're feeling kind of numbed, or if you're starting to feel kind of down, if you're starting to feel maybe like sad or depressed or hopeless or something, that is kind of like a natural effect of being disconnected from your own self, from your own truth. And the truth is not just what your soul speaks, but that you, like, let's say you are your soul, right? Or that yeah, your own truth. I'm just going to leave it at that. But that's what this is speaking to. So it's like for some reason, you're being pulled in all these directions, except not into your own self. And your power, because of that, has been kind of almost stripped away. But it's not been stripped away from somebody else. It's still there. It's just not being accessed. Okay. So the way that you can bring this into the light and work through it is through exercise personal power. Decide what you want. Okay. Just like maybe tell yourself no, or limit the amount, or even if you do go and access information from other sources outside of you, just tell yourself, I will consider this, but I'm also going to go journal or reflect on what it said, so that you can start forming your own thoughts. And even as I am saying this, you watch this video, go and do that, please, and see what actually, maybe after you read this, you're like, this is complete BS. I completely disagree with this. And you know what? That's totally fine. Because it is about your own truth. Okay. It's about your own voice, and it's about your soul speaking to you, and your own kind of like your own health. Really. This is about your life. Right. So that's what these cards are talking about. Excuse me. I've been recording for quite some time now. And I think my voice is getting kind of tired, and all the stuff that's involved in speaking. But anyways, okay. And I want to take a look at these cards. I feel like I've not even been in your group for so long, and we're moving through your group really quickly. But let's see if like the others went kind of a little bit longer. But let's see what we can pull up here. Oh, so Joyce, so see, so I was talking about expansion and the solar plexus. Okay, so expansion. I can't remember what word I used. It wasn't expansion is good, but there was a different one that I thought was more appropriate. But I guess it doesn't really matter. So solar plexus. This is where your personal power is, and see, it's joy, right? It's happiness. It's freedom. Is what it is. You're free to be yourself, to make your own choices, to walk your own path. Your own path, not somebody else's, based on other people's thoughts and opinions, of what they think, or what they intuit or whatever. It's your own path. And these cards are representing kind of like how will you know that you're kind of like on the right path, and you are like moving through this. And part of that is that you are able to more and more step into your own power and take your personal power back, and you're going to be feeling better. Okay. um, Life will be more enjoyable. It's going to be less heavy. You will be more confident. You will be able to do things more decisively, you know. So that's what that energy is about. I do want to talk about impasse and acceptance as well. So these are the other energies. And the let me just see here. I think with acceptance, this is really just about you settling into yourself and finding, like, trusting yourself. This is about self trust and self trust. This is your root. Okay, so we're talking about your root chakra right here, and we're talking about just really getting comfortable with who you are and knowing that you are able to make whatever decisions. Think for yourself. Hear your own voice. And it's safe for you to do that. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing here, and you can work towards this, right? You can work towards that. If you have a hard time with making decisions, start with small ones. And I know how hard that can be, because like I've never really had issues making decisions, and then something hit, and then I became really, really, really indecisive. And the worst part of it was when people were like really indecisive around me before, I was like, oh, it's really not that hard. Like, you just make a choice, right? You just think about it and make a choice. And then I found myself in that situation, and it's still kind of like following me around, where it's like sometimes I really have a hard time deciding, and it's not even important stuff. It's like, which soap should I buy? It's the most ridiculous thing. But what I'm here to say is I understand when, if it's hard to make your choice, I get it. I get it. Um, but even just starting small, it's like stepping stones to starting to build that relationship with yourself, the trust with yourself, and confidence in making choices. Because at the end of the day, a lot of them are really not that big of a deal, but we can struggle with them so much, right? Okay, and then impasse. I want to think about this one a little bit. I quite like the fact that it's here. I feel like it's a really good card that we're seeing here, even though it seems like it's not, but I like it. Let me just take a look at it. All right, so honestly, what I'm feeling with this one is this could kind of go both ways. And it could be like you just kind of come to terms with something. So, when the balancing act is kind of balancing itself out, maybe you're starting to see your shadow more clearly, maybe you're working through it, and then you kind of accept the fact that, yeah, this is part of you. This is just who you are. You accept it. Once you accept it, you can work with it and move on, okay? So that's one part of it. The second part of this is that you become a lot more self strong, reliant, standing, having boundaries, like internal boundaries, like inner boundaries, and not just with other people, but with yourself. So it's almost like you're falling in love with yourself, which is beautiful. Wow, I didn't even pick up on that. It's just like coming out of my mouth as I'm talking about this. So I feel like this card is just really like, um, you'd be like, yeah, this is my bullshit. Yes, I'm like flawed. Yes, I'm imperfect, but you know what? I own it and I love it, and I love myself. Um, Even more, like, and then you work on those things, right? So it's like there's one thing to accept it, like to see it accepted, and just and then make excuses for your behavior, right? But that's not what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is like that part of you, it's like you see, you accept, and you become stronger because of it. Because you know that saying, like, keep your friends close but your enemies closer. um no enemies here, but what it's making me think is like the good parts, the positive things that you like about yourself are like your friends, right? And then the negative things that you don't like about yourself are like your enemies. But if you can befriend your enemies, if you can become enemies, I want to put that into quotes. If you can become one with your whole self, whether it's positive or negative, you become such a stronger person for it. It's like you're operating from wholeness, not division, not separation. You're not oh, what's the word? Sorry, there's a cat meowing, one of my kitties, and she's distracting me. Um, what was the word? Uh, you're not operating from a place of like parts of yourself, right? If you know your weaknesses, you're able to kind of like face them, acknowledge them, and be like, and be proactive about it, even, right? That's the thing. You just become a stronger person because of it. I wish she hadn't meowed because like I really there was something at the tip of my tongue and I think it's gone now, but um yeah, you become a stronger person. And you know what? Maybe you actually become a brighter person because of it. Your light shines brighter actually. And the reason for that is because when you self-accept yourself, you stop judging other people for the things that you don't like about yourself. So I know that not everybody might understand this. But basically people, they say people are our mirrors, and the things that we don't like in other people are because they are reflecting something back to us about ourselves that we don't like. So it doesn't have to be like um very very what's the word, like precise. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I don't like angry people and that's because you're angry and you can't see it within yourself. It can be a lot more like um fluid, I guess, where like let's say like you don't like angry people because angry people are entitled, and entitled people make you feel small, for example, and you don't like the fact that you feel small. Okay, so it could be like something like that, like where it's not so directly like a direct reflection, but there's something within that that makes you not like somebody, or some makes you not like something about them because it's reflecting your own self to you, right? So in that way, when we have those parts, we judge people, but when we accept ourselves fully, and when we allow ourselves to be who we are, when we understand ourselves and why we act the way we are, and we can start healing from that, that is when we become loving. Our hearts open. There's no need anymore to be guarded, right? Because we're whole, we're more whole, like we're operating from wholeness, from self acceptance, and then we also have more personal power. I'm sorry for the noise, that's my other kitty chewing on something. Um, but yeah, so we're operating from a place that's a lot more whole. I hope that made sense. They're really kind of going crazy. I feel like I should pull another card for you guys. Um, let me see. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. I'll use this deck. You guys are special. You're gonna get like a. I pulled out so many decks actually, and I was like, I wanted to grab like different cards, but these readings were so. I got so much from the cards I have here that I decided not to. But you guys are gonna get an extra card. Okay. Can we get a message for group 3, please? Something that ties this up, or something they should hear right now. One card for group 3, please. And this is why I don't like shuffling on screen, because it usually takes a while. Okay, can we get one card for group? Did I say group 1, group 3? I'm sorry if I said group 1. Summer. Okay, opportunity, optimism, joy. Enjoy life to the full and say yes to opportunities. And this is a 10. A 10 is like, we have the completion of something or the beginning of something, because if we take the 0 out, we have a 1, which is the beginning. If we take the 1 out, we have a 0, which is like essentially the seed of a new beginning. And do you remember when I was like, this is something to do about a garden? There's a garden. This is your home. This is yeah, this is giving me the same vibes. This is summer. This is growth. This is happiness and joy. And I honestly, I feel like maybe you are already on this journey. I feel like you're kind of like almost there. Or this is God, what is it? It's like this is a small part of your shadow, a small aspect of your shadow or something, or you've been doing a lot of growth and this is kind of like the trail end of something. Like you've grown a lot, and this is like one of those things that you still need to overcome, but it's like one of the more final things that you need to overcome. Like you've worked through a lot of things already, I think. There's something around that, okay? It's like you're almost there. This is the energy that I'm feeling. It's like you're almost there, and there's like you're almost at a new place, a new beginning for yourself. So that is amazing. It feels really good. Like when I looked at this card, it felt really good. Let me see. Maybe we'll do just one more. I'm just like really curious. I don't know. Okay, so can we get just one final card for group 3, please? One final card for group 3. There we go. Okay, and we have seed. What did I seed? See? We have seed. Potential hope interconnection. Your potential is infinite. Have hope for the future. Oh my God. I'm so glad I decided to do another card. I swear. This is beautiful energy. Okay. So, like, if there was any doubt in your mind, um, please take this with you. Because like I said, I think you're almost there. I think you're almost there, and time is relative, and maybe it's going to feel like still forever. I'm not sure. I hope it doesn't, but I hope that what you can take away from this is that most of your growth has already happened, right? Before the plant, the little seedling can come out, there's a lot that has to happen here, right? And we already have that little seedling. You're on your way. See? You're so on your way to this. So I just want to say good luck on all of your growth and healing and all the work that you have put in. If this doesn't resonate, then I guess you're probably not here anymore. But if this doesn't resonate, then I think if you're here, then this has to resonate. Like, you are somebody who has done a lot of growth, I think, and a lot of healing, and put a lot of effort into this. So really good job. Um, the energy here is saying, like, good job on this, and your effort paid off, and it's paying off, and it's paid off, and it's going to continue to pay off. So just keep going and keep the faith. So group 3, that was your reading. I hope that it brought you some insight and clarity. If you've enjoyed it and you would like to give back, please consider liking, subscribing if you haven't, sharing if you know anybody who would maybe enjoy this reading. And if you feel like dropping a comment, that would also be amazing. If you don't know what to say, you can just be like, hey, I chose group 3, or whatever you want to say is all good. If you've done any of that, thank you so much. It really helps with the algorithm on YouTube, and to help me grow my channel. And yeah. Okay, group 3, best of luck to you. Take care.